Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I know this has been another day skip, but who cares? And I definitely know that you don't care that I had a day skip, but for me, it is important for me to address, and the reason is that I was sick. Conclusion is I was sick yesterday, so I wasn't able to make a video yesterday. So today, we're starting a brand new day again. It's kind of funny how I had a conversation. I mean, like the previous video that I made was talking about how you have to forgive yourself, and about, like, sometimes when things happen, you just have to make it as a break day and stuff like that. And I made an example of having a skip day, and then you start back up, and then you skip again because something else happened, then you start again, and that was exactly what happened to me. So hold on, I think this should be a bit better with this angle. So anyway, today is another day, and I want to kind of announce that I have completed my article that I want to upload today, and I have already uploaded on Medium. I'll put it in the link, the kind of like the free link for you guys to read if you're interested. But that is the conversation for this video today, and that is about, to sum things up, about procrastination. And I guess this is something that hits home with a lot of us who are trying to improve ourselves. So let's start talking about it. So I'm going to be referencing a lot of points that I've written, and I guess this is going to be kind of like the foundation of this whole video and how things will move forward from here, because as I've been mentioning before, my goal is to be able to write articles and then make videos about these articles, and then make music one day for these videos. So right now I'm trying to practice this daily thing of writing, and then daily thing of talking about what I wrote. So procrastination, right, by essence, it just simply means to put things off. Okay, procrastinating means putting things off. For example, you have something you want to do for the day. For example, you have this particular document you have to write, to submit, but it doesn't really have a clear deadline. It is based on the fact that once you complete it, you complete it, and you put it on your list that you probably have to do it today, so that you don't have, for your own peace of mind later on. But of course, being yourself, you did not do the task, and this thing kind of like stacks on day after day. So for example, I have this thing I have to register for on Monday. Personally, I set this Monday actually, that I am gonna do this, but until today I did not even budge to even do it, or even have the desire to even do it. So welcome to the word procrastination, and it's something that we're familiar with, and something that we always hate when it happens, but we love doing it. So what is actually going on with ourselves? So the thing is, I would like to talk about two things, which is the biological aspect of it, and also the psychological aspect of it. So for the biological aspect of it, is that this task execution, okay, is pretty much, okay, procrastination is the inability of us to execute a task, and particularly to initiate the execution. It's not about doing the task. Like, I mean, if there's two things, okay, to initiate a task and to do the task, okay, and when you fail to do said task, that means you fail to do it, and that is either you fail to start doing it or even do it. So a failure in execution, that means in actually doing the task, is just a failure of said task. It's not a procrastination thing, because you've already achieved actually initiating, because procrastination plays around the fields of the failure of initiation of a task. So the main reason why people procrastinate, if you just simply do a search, or you yourself know what procrastination is, it is pretty much you feeling lazy, or you're feeling anxiety to do something, or you're feeling a big huge resistance in doing it. And I think most of us will think of it as a big resistance, and we feel kind of not wanting to do the thing, and we end up just like pushing it off, like, ah, man, this is something a bit too difficult for me right now. I'm lazy, I don't do it right now. So that is procrastination, right? So the thing is, let's just kind of like go on a tangent a little bit and explain about the two concepts I mentioned earlier, which is the biological aspect and the psychological aspect. So for the biological aspect, you have to understand that our brain have multiple parts, right? We have certain parts in our brain for processing what we see, which is your occipital lobe, and then your hearing, which is your temporal lobe, and stuff like that. There's so many parts, and then the sensation at our at the top there. So that is this most famous part of our brain that is always discussed in this space, which is your prefrontal cortex. Or just to sum it up, it's just the front part of your brain. You don't have to say prefrontal cortex to sound smart. I mean, there's no use. Just understand that at the front part of your brain, the main function is to handle execution of tasks, or execution. It's just execution. It's just the executive part of your brain. It is the CEO. It is where you decide what to do. It is what you're thinking at the moment. It's that stuff. Okay, so your prefrontal cortex has three main functions, which is for the RAM of your brain, which is for your working memory, what you're thinking and what the amount of memory that's required to do a certain task, and then it is for the execution of the task, and also is to avoid distraction. That's the three main functions of your brain. So of your prefrontal cortex, and these allow us to be able to execute tasks, for us to avoid doing things we don't want to do at that moment, to avoid distractions and stuff like that, and also to be able to execute things step by step, because as I said, it is your RAM is there as well. So it is a place for you to process what you are doing step by step. So the reason I want to talk about the biological aspect is because I want to talk about this group of people that I kind of associate myself with, which is the neurodivergent people. So we have two types of people. We have neurodivergent and we have neurotypical. Neurotypical is a normal person, pretty much, just to sum it up. A neurodivergent person is someone who has a little bit of difference. There's something wrong with the brain that makes them process things differently. This includes dyslexia, ADHD, and stuff like that. For me, I'm more proning myself towards ADHD, as I've discussed many times, but I don't want to self-diagnose and say, hey, I have ADHD, so that therefore I suck. But I'm saying this to accept the fact that, okay, even if I don't have, but I believe so I do have, that yes, I have this issue, so I have to accept that I have this issue and I have to deal with it. That's the whole reason why I'm talking about this. So I have to deal with this fact. So anyway, for neurodivergent people, things occur differently in your brain, and particularly for those who have ADHD, the difficulty that you are facing with in this space is a difficulty with your execution. Okay, you are weak in executing, and what I mean by this is that for a person with ADHD, mild or severe, you have a difficulty in executing tasks. That means it takes much more effort to actually put yourself to do something. Okay, so that's why some people would call ADHD people are master procrastinators, because simply it is so much difficult. There's more resistance for these people to actually do tasks. So that is the biology. Okay, the biology is your prefrontal cortex. So understanding the concept of how our brain works will actually give us the answer as to why doing things are difficult sometimes. So that's one thing. So there's another aspect. Okay, once I've said that, that's pretty much the neuroscience of that. Now let's talk about the psychology of it, which is the concept of comfort zone. And I think this has been talked about by a lot of people, and I'm not a very interesting person to talk about this, but I'll be talking about it anyway. So the comfort zone is pretty much your safe space. It is where you feel at comfort, you don't feel like you're doing much, you're happy to be here. I mean, for example, the comfort zone is me lying on my bed reading manga, and then maybe drinking a nice cold drink. That's pretty much it. That's my life. That's my comfort zone. And the comfort zone is pretty much your mental space where you feel at ease, you don't feel stressed, you don't feel discomfort at all, you feel completely comfortable. That's why the name is comfort zone. So there is this concept which is very famous, which is to step out of your comfort zone. And yes, this is the very good concept whereby it is for you to grow your comfort zone and make difficult things to be within your comfort zone. That means, for example, if right now for me, my comfort zone is pretty much, as I said, lying down and reading manga. maybe making walking on the treadmill be a part of my comfort zone is a really good thing. And yes, it is a very fucking good thing, but for me right now in this state, it is actually outside of my comfort zone, obviously. So with that sense, playing around with your comfort zone is important. So let me explain in detail what is this zones. Okay, so in the psychology here, uh there is a name for it. It was Yerkes do something. I forgot. Sorry, I wrote about it, but I forgot already. I mean, I'm not reading the script. So if you want to kind of like read it better, do check my Medium article. So anyway, which is in the description. So anyway, let's get back to it. So the concept of comfort zone, there's a few models. There's the 3 model and the 4 model. The 4 model is useless, honestly. Don't look at the 4 level model. Just take the simple one, the 3 level model, which is the comfort zone, the discomfort zone, and the panic zone. Okay, so here's the thing. Everything that's happening in life lies within these 3 zones. For example, for me, just sitting down, reading manga, and lying down reading manga is my comfort zone. Me right now sitting down and recording is, for me right now at this level, in my discomfort zone. It's not in the panic zone yet, it is in the discomfort zone, obviously. So for me, this is a good thing. It's a good thing that I am here sitting down and recording myself. And me writing an article was in my discomfort zone because it doesn't give me panic, it's not stressing me out too much, but I am doing it and it is quite uncomfortable to do it. So that is in my discomfort zone, and that means thus it is a good thing. What is not good is when you throw things out of proportion and put them in your panic zone. So here's the thing, like these kind of zone, as I said, psychology in this sense is just really abstract. Okay, so when people talk about psychology and you or anything self-development in general, personal development, is all abstract and nothing grounded. Nothing is grounded really. What makes psychology, what makes personal development grounded is is something physical and actually doing the thing. So that's why for the psychology part here, labeling something as comfort zone and everything is just fluff in a way. But to put into perspective, okay, as I've said, like sitting here right now is in my discomfort zone. What do I consider personally as a panic zone? For me right now, I suppose is going for a run right now. That is a panic zone because for me, I'm struggling a lot to start working out, and it's so difficult for me to start working out. I'm fat right now and I'm stressed that I need to work out, but at the same time the resistance of actually doing it is fucking high. So that is in my panic zone right now. So it's not ideal for me to even do it on a psychological sense, but it is a good thing to do, but it's stressful. So yeah, that's an example of a panic zone task. So that is the concept. So okay, I thought my mom's there, but anyway, so you get the idea of what I'm trying to say. So what do I mean by this? So I have given you the 2 things, which is the biological and the psychological aspect of procrastination. Or it's not really about procrastination, but it's more of how our brain works. So how our lives work. So here's the thing. I'm not going to say this as a hack, but I'm going to say this as it is. But the best way to beat procrastination is simply by making your life easy. Just that, full stop. Make it easy. Because the thing is, let's put, I think one of the most frequent examples I've been given in my article was this, which is to brush, the act of brushing your teeth. So here's the thing. For brushing your teeth, it is pretty much just that, brush teeth, and the benefit is you maintain your dental care. You don't get caries, and then you don't have to get you'd have to get someone to drill a hole and then patch it up. Okay, so there's importance of taking care of your teeth, right? So it is a simple task you have to do every day, and it has a lot of consequences if you don't do it, but you don't really feel the consequence now. So yes, brushing your teeth. So let's put into perspective, because the main reason I want to talk about this thing is that I want to talk about something about a comfort zone in a bit. So anyway, Yes, brushing your teeth. Right. So, say you are okay. Let's give this two, like a two situation example. Okay, so the first example is that you just woke up one day, just a normal morning, and then you feel like you want to take a piss. So this urge makes you get up and go to the toilet. So you go and take your piss. So once you've taken a piss, then you're already in the toilet, so you might as well I take a shower. Then you take a shower, and then after you take a shower, since I'm already in the toilet and I'm already showering, I'm gonna go and brush my teeth. Right, so you go and brush your teeth. So that is a relatively easy thing to do, okay, because you're already there anyway. It's in front of your face, you just do it. Might as well, you can multitask. While showering you can brush your teeth. It's so simple. But let's put a different example. You're in bed playing with your phone, and then it occurred to you that, oh shit, I have not brushed my teeth yet, and it's already nighttime and you need to go to bed. That is fucking difficult, because here's the thing. Your brain, as I've been talking about, your prefrontal cortex is very good at analyzing objectively everything, and that also includes the task that you are doing. However, what it is bad at is actually analyzing the difficulty of the thing you want to do. Because, for example, brushing your teeth is not a dangerous thing, it's not a difficult thing, but the perception of difficulty is highly dependent on your situation, and it highly depends on how you feel. So let's take these two examples. You are already in the toilet and you think of brushing your teeth, and you are lying down in your bed far away from the toilet and you're thinking of brushing your teeth. Obviously there is a huge ass resistance of you being in bed compared to you already being in the toilet. So this resistance is already calculated in your head, because, for example, the resistance is this. When you're in the bed and you think of going to the toilet, you're thinking of this. Your brain is already calculating. The steps you have to do is you have to get up from bed, which is the most difficult thing in this whole step, because you have to get out of bed, walk to the toilet, then brush your teeth, then come back, lie down. And of course, the thing that has the biggest energy consumption is literally getting out of bed, from lying down, from being supine, and then you have to be standing up. That is the difficult part, and that is the main reason why. That is a very good example of why we procrastinate, why we fail to initiate a task, because it is fucking difficult to initiate. The prerequisite task of doing something, sometimes it overwhelms the whole task itself, even though it's a very minute and simple task. So, which is why I would say, for example, you are someone who frequently brush your teeth, right? You are a very diligent person. You've already been doing this for years, which is brushing 2 times a day in 2 minutes each time. You've been good at timing and everything. But for example, at one time you have to skip it. For example, your mom calls you while you're showering that you have to help her immediately, so you forgot to brush your teeth. Like, I'll do it after this. You help your mom, you get out of the toilet, you help your mom, and after you finish helping, then you feel like, you know what, I'm gonna brush my teeth later. So that thing is not that means, even though that thing is inside your comfort zone, admittedly, but when it comes to something that diverts you from that task, and then to go back to it, even though you've done it so many times and it's easy for you, it becomes more difficult because of the situation. As like I've given an example between being in the toilet and lying down, same concept. Even if this thing is inside or outside your comfort zone, admittedly, it depends on the situation. And this is the thing that I want to talk about, which is that your comfort zone changes every minute. It changes every second, minute, or every single time, depending on your situation. It is a situational and time-based and energy-based bubble. Okay, it expands and shrinks depending on the situation. So the idea is this: don't think that comfort zone is a linear graph. Like, as you do something more, the thing grows and expands linearly. It actually grows and shrinks depending on anything. But of course, things get easier over time, yes, but it's still variables throughout the day, throughout your energy peaks, and throughout situations. So that is why sometimes we procrastinate, sometimes we push things away, because I mean, now it's not feasible, it's difficult to do it now. So what's the takeaway here? The takeaway, as I said, is to make things fucking easy. That's pretty much it. There's actually two things: to make doing it easy, and to make getting to it mentally easy. Okay, what I mean by the first point is, for example, making these videos. As I said, I personally procrastinated making videos before this, because I had a very complicated step-by-step process. I want to write the article, as I said, write the article, compose the kind of like the shots for the video, and then shoot the video, and then edit the video, and then make the music myself. And then this is a whole ass like workflow which is unsustainable, and end up not doing it because it's too difficult for me. But right now I am cutting that by just simply sitting and talking, because I need to drill in my brain that this is what I do and it's easy for me, and this is actually much more accessible for me. So that's why I am making these crappy videos, because I'm training myself to make videos easy. Okay, so that's one thing. That's the make it easy way. And the other way is simply by just focusing, making it mentally easy. So here's the thing: as I said, our brains are very good at analyzing things automatically, just pap pop pop, but you don't even think about it. So for example, with the brushing teeth thing, you need to brush your teeth, you know that. But so, because the thing is, when you're lying down, the biggest hurdle is getting up. Literally just getting up, that's the difficult part. So literally, before rather than just think about that, just focus on your brain. Get up of bed. Yes, it is a difficult thing, even just thinking about it, but at least that's better. That, like, I mean, it's an easier mental load than thinking about getting out of bed and going to brush your teeth. You cut off the mental stress of the rest. Just focus on getting out of bed. So do that. And the same thing is with making these videos and writing articles. Make the task easy, and also make accessing the task easy. For example, for writing, it's a difficult task, yes. So the way I do it is, rather than thinking of writing the whole ass article, I'm just thinking, oh, okay, just get out of bed, go to my chair, sit down, relax. I've achieved the first step. Good, I'm happy I've done this. Then open my laptop, open the document editing app, and just write the first sentence. I don't know why I'm writing, just write something. And from there, usually your brain has this thing where once you start something, then you roll with it. It's just the domino effect, just the flow. So when you start write a sentence, then you kind of like continue randomly, and then you start working. Your brain starts working in this way, and then I don't know where you just finish a paragraph, and then, or maybe it's not a paragraph, just rambles, and then from that rambles you figure out what you want to write about, and then from that you start writing on that topic, and then you start going on. You just flow. So yeah, that's the main thing I want to say. I hope this is helpful, and this is actually a huge step for me today, because I wrote an article and I directly talked about what I wrote in that article, and that is kind of like a huge achievement for me. I'm expanding my procrastination, my comfort zone, in a sense, because I wrote the article and now I'm recording the video. And I hope this video is helpful to you, and if you want to really kind of read up what I just said in better flow rather than me talking, is just check out the link in the description and read the article yourself. It's just free to read, and it's just a short read, honestly. So yeah, that's pretty much for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and see you tomorrow, hopefully.